Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? Because the stone sees only downward.
It's been almost a week since the release of the Rings of Power, and the dust lifted from its plummeting landing, it's far from settling. Everyone who watched the show and knows the slightest about Tolkien's work absolutely slam it. And I watched it on Friday the day it came out, and I was pulling all kinds of faces. I was confused, I was weirded out, I was bored, and just from 2 episodes we got the elves, who are supposed to be the main focus of this show, who look dumb. Elrond looks fragile as fuck and hasn't seen shit apparently.
But you have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
A huge contrast with how Hugo Weaving portrayed him. Gil-galad looks like he's cosplaying at Comic-Con, Celebrimbor looks like a grandma, Finrod is a fucking idiot.
You know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? Because the stone sees only downward.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
The love story between Browning and Arondir is cringe and the dialogue is dumb, as well as the dialogue of the entire thing, to be honest.
Will our torches give off no warmth? This way.
How can you be certain?
It's colder than the rest.
You should have got Asuka.
The dwarves are the only thing that look a little bit decent, and I still hate Disa, as well as apparently the entire nation of Scotland. The Harfoots are a cheap knockoff of the Hobbits, and their accent is so bad.
I can't help but feel there's wonders in this world, beyond our wandering.
Shout out to Ireland, love your beer. It's so bad actually, I wish that fucking wolf would eat them when they had the chance. Chances, he had several. That at least would have cut a huge chunk of the story and made the runtime a little bit shorter. And Galadriel, the main character of the series, who was portrayed as a beautiful, tall lady of the elves in Peter Jackson movies, is poorly transformed into a selfish, angry brawler who cares for no one and nothing but herself.
I demand to speak with the king directly.
Okay, this joke has played itself.
What a representation of feminism, hey? For a show that costs this much, to have any of the things that I mentioned is a big problem. I just can't imagine how no one looked at the end product and said, guys, this kinda sucks. I mean, you should really reconsider your product when an elf from a Polish parody looks that much more like an elf than your billion-dollar show. So this and many other problems have already been dumped by the fans and multitude of YouTubers into the steps of Amazon Studios, and the response was suspending the reviews. Oh my god, it's like they want us to hate them. The YouTube channel TheQuartering did a great video exampling this, and so I won't repeat it all, but he basically compared what the House of Dragon reviews look in comparison with Rings of Power. So the House of Dragons had bad and good reviews, which is normal. In my opinion, I think it's a very decent show. Matt Smith is actually great in it, so I can appreciate it.
Very good.
But when it comes to Rings of Power, IMDB doesn't show any of the reviews that go below 6 in an attempt to boost the show's rating. I wonder who owns IMDB. And of course, they don't want the show to be reviewable because they themselves said the future of the studio depends on the show's success, which I don't think there's gonna be one. Rotten Tomato and others had clearly shown what the fans are thinking about, and it is abysmal. What annoys me the most about this, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, is that they took something that was masterfully crafted and adapted in a somewhat similar way, at least the first time around. The second time the studio got greedy and they kind of fucked it up, but Rings of Power absolutely butchered it. They had no excuse. They had the resources. They are talented people that can act, write, produce, direct, advertise. I mean, the memes talk for themselves. Everyone took such a fucking piss from everything they did. And they lied, and they didn't need to lie. All they needed to do was love the story and portray it in such a way. It's kind of like the hamburgers from SpongeBob. If you do it with care, it tastes better. And since when attacking the fan base has been a thing? If you're doing something bad, listen to what your audience is saying, which is what Sonic producers did, and it saved the fucking movie. The woke casting and the diversity casting, call it whatever you want, ends up being such a minute problem if the rest of your show is trash. You want diversity cast? Sure, go ahead. But don't hit me with lines like this.
I must follow the passage the other direction.
You don't know what's down there.
That is the reason I'm Masako.
Asuka.
Why go to such extremes to put that many eggs in a basket that from the beginning showed that it wasn't going to work. The worst thing about this is that despite the shit stain on the records, Amazon has great shows. To name a few, we got The Boys, The Terminal List, The Expanse, have all been excellent shows. Oh, what's that? A diverse cast of powerful women? Right there. Secretary Vasarala, Camilla Drummer, Naomi Sabita, Bobby Draper, they are all amazing characters, they are well written, they are well played, and you care about them, which is something that Rings of Power fails miserably at. Someone in the comments said that this might be a tax write-off, which if it is, it will be hilarious that they went to such lengths just to do that, but I guess we'll find out later in someone's documentary. We got a new episode coming out on Friday, and I'm not super excited about it, but I'll watch it and I'll make fun of it. It's good YouTube content, so who gives a shit. But let me know in the comments below if you like it. Tell me one thing that you like, one thing that you dislike. If you like the video, if you watched so far, give us a like. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.